Namaste, everyone. Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving a big and beautiful shout out on this Wednesday evening here, 45 minutes south of the Canadian border. And welcome to another MCKS vlog. I'm super excited because after many hours of research, many hours of trying to find the way to crack the code as to why my physical body has not been feeling well for the past several months. I didn't know if it was where I've been living, what I've been doing, extra meditation practices, not healing things properly. I could not figure out what it was. And so I started looking into my diet because I learned something as I've progressed in my Hatha yoga practice over the years. Recently, it was said by one of the masters that at this level of our Hatha yoga, one of the most important things is watching your diet. And I was like, okay, where have I heard that watch your diet before thing? Before it was sugar, I ignored that for 3 years and it completely destroyed my life that I had to rebuild from. So I thought, okay, let me listen a little bit sooner and apply a little bit sooner. So I went on and I was examining my symptoms, looking at what I was eating, and then looking at a better way of doing it. And surprise, surprise, now we've moved into a keto diet. We've moved into intermittent fasting. We've moved into certain kinds of supplementation, and we've moved into more hydration properly done. And just after 3 days, weight loss, mental fog is gone, which I didn't know where that was coming from. That's partly why I was like, where's this mental fog coming from? Why is my body tired all the time? No matter how much sleep I get or don't get, I'm just tired all day long. And I was like, I am the soul. I'm not the body. I'm the soul. I'm not the body. I'm the soul. I'm not the body. But something had to be done, right? And so far, so good. The goal is to maintain this for the next couple months and then get appropriate feedback, get blood work done, all that stuff. But thought I'd share that with you guys. That's so far so good. You'd be surprised at what you put in your mouth is your medicine or your poison. Took me a while to figure that out. And just when I thought I understood it, there was another level of understanding. So I went higher with it. So onward and upward, right? So for today's quote by MCKS, family life is one of the fastest ways to spiritually develop. Inevitably, there is relationship friction. You develop self sacrifice, self control, patience, flexibility, and tolerance. That's a mouthful. So, obviously, having a partner, living with that partner, and then possibly having a child or children with that partner, you can understand all the different opportunities to spiritually grow. So what is spiritual development or spiritual evolution? It is a merging of the little self with the big self, the incarnated soul with the higher soul. So as we go through life and we have experiences and we have challenges and we overcome those challenges and we learn from our experiences, we get closer and closer and closer to having oneness with our higher souls. Now, if we're all by ourselves, we don't really have a mirror constantly in our face of what we have to work on. So that means we have to have more self awareness, more self understanding in order for us to grow as an individual person. But I remember when I was talking with my mentor when I found out that my wife and I were pregnant. My wife at the time, she's no longer my wife. And I found out that we were pregnant and he was smiling. And I said, "What are you smiling about? This is a super stressful time for us. We don't have, our relationship isn't wonderful. We don't have the necessary money. We don't have the necessary network to make growing a healthy, stable child really doable." And he goes, "Because you're both going to have your heart super activated. Children help their parents evolve." And I was like, okay, I'm all about oneness. I'm all about the spiritual path. I'm all about growing and developing. See, me, myself, and I, see how self centered and self focused I was. But having my son come into this world 15, almost 16 years ago, he'll be 16 in March 25th, is one of the greatest blessings I've ever had in my entire life, bar none. And he has taught me so much directly and more so indirectly by our interesting dynamic in our relationship with one another. But one of the things I noticed that him being born helped me do finally do something that I was unable to do for myself at any other point in my life is he helped me become grounded. So as a spiritual practitioner, there's a tendency for our upper chakras to be super developed. Well, let me rephrase that, super activated in relationship to our lower chakras. So we're very rooted to God, rooted to the higher energies, but we're not so rooted and grounded and practical to Mother Earth. So it makes it very difficult for us to stay in one place, to have routine, to have pattern, and to provide for ourselves physically, paying our rent, paying our bills, taking care of our obligations. But when you have a child, guess what? You better be grounded. You better be practical. No running all over the world, being irresponsible. It's like, okay, got to buy diapers today. Where's the money going to come from? Got to buy formula today. Where's the money going to come from? He needs clothes for school. He needs supplies for school. Where's that going to come from? So, my son being born and me being in his life, directly or indirectly, from the separation of my ex wife, has forced me to become a grounded, practical, realistic yogi. So I'm practicing oneness with my higher soul through the process of groundedness, because the virtues, when we practice the virtues, and in pranic healing, we talk about 5 major virtues. When we practice the virtues, that helps purify ourselves and helps connect us to our higher soul. So one of the virtues is constancy of aim and effort and non-laziness, right? You have to constantly show up for your child. You have to be industrious, and you have to have an aim for their lives of where they're going and where you're going as a family. So you're developing just that one virtue, having a family. You're developing all of them, but that one is a very powerful one in being a grounded human being. So, as I look at my notes here, groundedness, opening of the hearts, because when you are in a relationship, a healthy relationship, especially a relationship with children, what are you constantly doing? Giving, 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 giving all the time. Especially the younger the child, the more there's giving, right? The child is designed to do what? Mommy, daddy, gimme, gimme, gimme. They're designed to take, take, take. And through them taking and the parents giving, it's activating the heart chakra of the parents. Their heart chakra is expanding. And you're not just giving financially, which activates the heart and the basic chakra, but you're giving in all areas of your life. You're giving of your time, you're giving of your money, you're giving of your physical body, especially the mother, right? You're giving of your mental knowledge and your wisdom and your life experience. You're giving spiritually through spiritual energy going from passing through you into your child. So there's a lot of giving, giving, giving. And then what? It is in the giving that we receive. So as you give to your child, you're expanding your capacity to receive more, which allows you to do what? To give even more. So again, having a marriage and having children gives you a great opportunity to spiritually grow and develop. Also, self-sacrifice. I remember when my son was very little, he was amazing kid. When he was teeny tiny, amazing. If he was ever started to cry for any reason, we would just pick him up, take him outside, and 30 seconds later, stop crying. Didn't matter if it was during the day or in the middle of the night. He never cried outside for some reason. So that was always the fastest way to pacify him and calm him down, was being outside. He probably sensed the fresh prana and energy. But being up, sacrificing your sleep day in and day out when you have a 1 or 1.5 year old, that is developing the heart chakra. That's developing your will, right? Because you're like, okay, I got 2 hours of sleep and I have to go to work, or I got no hours of sleep and I have to go to work, right? So do you see the power of that? So self-sacrifice, activating the heart, strengthening the willpower. If you are a single person and you just come and go as you please, you're not developing that aspect of yourself, right? So there's a level of selfishness and lack of self-sacrifice. Does that make sense? As you give, you receive, right? Also, self-control. Well, when you're married and you have a family, in general, you can't just say after an argument, I'm out, and just throw up your hands and walk out the door. In general, You can't do that. Now, are there people who do that? Yes. But guess what? They don't develop the other abilities. They don't spiritually grow and evolve. They do not learn the lesson of that argument. That argument was teaching that person what? Self sacrifice, selflessness, love, harmonizing through conflict, practicing forgiveness, and other virtues built into that dynamic. And it was interesting. I was talking with a client of mine, also a friend, who is saying about arranged marriages. And arranged marriages historically are more successful than love marriages, partly because both person have had both families come together to bring them together. And so there's a lot on the line that if it doesn't work out, there's a lot of guilt and shame and not so good things. Now, does that mean all arranged marriages are hunky dory? No, but what it does is it makes you say, look, you and I are in this for life, and you and I are going to make this work no matter what. So they're learning lessons on harmonizing and becoming better people versus, you know what? We could date, we could end this, no strings attached. There's always more apps, there's more dating apps, there's more fish in the sea, all this other stuff. Or, you go your separate way with the kids, or I'll go my separate way with the kids. And, it is what it is, right? So there's no level of we're going to work this out no matter what, right? Now, does that mean that if you're in a physically or verbally abusive relationship or marriage that you're supposed to stay in it and work it out? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. As I understood it from one of the masters in pranic healing, this is one of the most difficult questions I've had come up over and over and over again of married couples where one is growing and evolving and becoming a better person, and the other one is like, in essence, being a stick in the mud and not allowing, not allowing, but making it very, very difficult for the other person to grow and evolve. So one person wants to keep things as they are and stay stuck, and the other person wants to grow, wants to develop, wants to spiritually evolve, right? What do you do in that situation? Do you just stick it out, or do you get a divorce? And the answer that was finally given to me after many, many years of wanting a clear answer to help other people that I work with was, if there is love and the will to transform, you stay married. So if both people love each other, now there are degrees. One person could love one more than the other, granted. But if there is love between both people and there's will to transform, will to become better, will to learn lessons and to grow, you stay together. But if there's only one person with love and one person with will, it's not going to work out. So you end the marriage. Okay. So it's teaching you self-control. Instead of throwing up your hands and walking out the door, you're like, whew, okay, let me control my thoughts. Let me control my feelings. Let me control my actions. Let me control the words that come out of my mouth, because I'm with this person. I have a mortgage, car payments, career, children, responsibilities. Okay. So you're practicing self-control, which is the virtue of moderation and non-excessiveness. Interesting, right? Then you have patience. So how many of us with our intimate partners and or with our children are constantly working on communication skills, throat chakra, seeking to be understood and also seeking to understand? That's developing the light aspect and the love aspect within you when you're communicating with another person. If you are by yourself or you shut down when there's disagreement or disharmony between you and another person, where's the opportunity to grow? Where's the opportunity to evolve? Where's the opportunity to become more patient in your interactions? Because patience is a function of the heart chakra. So again, goes back to the heart. You're developing the heart. Flexibility. Flexibility. You can't say my way or the highway anymore, right? Going back to can't throw up your hands. You can do anything you want because you're a being of divine will, but there are always consequences to the things that you do. So when you're married and when you have children, you have to be flexible. One of the things that I've had a hard time with in relationships with other people that I've gotten light years ahead of where I was is patience. because I have a tendency, time is a thing of mine, and it has been a thing of mine since as long as I can remember, always being 15 minutes early for everything, no matter what, never being late. I can't even remember the last time I was late for anything ever. I'm sure at some point in my incarnation I've been late, but in general, haven't been late for anything, right? So you have to have a level of flexibility. It can't be your way or the highway every single time. So flexibility is connected to the throat chakra. So when we are inflexible, the throat chakra isn't producing enough green prana or green energy, which breaks up calcified thought forms. Like, this is how it is, period, end of story. That person has a rigidity within their energy body. So I had to learn through lots of suffering and lots of self-awareness and lots of self-understanding that it can't be my way all the time. And I have to be flexible. And guess what? Now that I'm more flexible, my suffering is alleviated. And the people that I interact with, family members, my son, etc., their suffering is alleviated because they're not like, is he going to flip out? Is it like walking on eggshells? Make sense? And then lastly, tolerance. Tolerance. No one is perfect. You're not perfect. Your partner is not perfect. Your children are not perfect. Your family is not perfect. So you have to practice forgiveness, not on a sometime basis, not on a quarterly basis, not on a monthly basis, but on a daily basis. You have to practice forgiveness. You have to go, we're all in the process of growing and evolving. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes and learned from them. So can you. I wish you the same. Go in peace. I forgive you. Cut, 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 cut. And you have to do that with the people that you are interacting with. It's not like you forgive them, you cut, and then they disappear out of your life. You're going to see them in an hour or the next day, right? Or for the rest of your lives. So you're going to have to learn to practice forgiveness, which is connected to the heart. Interesting how a lot of our spiritual growth and development is connected to the heart, and being in relationships, marriages, and having a family, it's constantly activating and developing the heart chakra. Love is the ultimate lubricant. When you are in relationship with family, people close with you that you see on a daily basis, there is friction, friction of thoughts, speech, actions. There's friction, friction, friction. There's disharmony, there's misunderstandings, there's hurt feelings, friction, friction, friction. What lubricates the gears of the relationship is love. So if you both love each other very, very much, it soothes any pain, sorrow, suffering, hurt feelings that is a natural byproduct of being a human being and interacting with other human beings in close proximity day in and day out. Make sense? So again, today's quote, family life is one of the fastest ways to spiritually develop. Inevitably, there is relationship friction. You develop self-sacrifice, self-control, patience, flexibility, and tolerance. So while the single life might be amazing for some, and some people enjoy that single life their entire incarnation, other people that go, you know what, I wish I had this single life. By having an intimate partner and by having children, you have an invaluable opportunity to grow and evolve as a soul and to become a better person. So I hope that helps. For those of you who are looking to get more energy, more tools, more teachings, I definitely recommend going to ChristianRLong.com and checking out our membership site in the upper right-hand corner of the website. And if you have any questions about it, you can email me directly. And I look forward to serving you guys very, very soon. Have a beautiful and amazing day, week, and life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.